And so in this video, I just want to show you how to connect two inverters in parallel. Okay, maybe the project you've been doing has just been only one, and now you have the opportunity to connect inverters in parallel. Maybe you are doing 10 kilowatts and you are doing it 5 5. That means 5 kilo to give you 10. So I don't want to make this video just story, like let's make it practical. Let's do something. So this is SRNE inverter. The most important thing you need to do is to ensure that you go through this manual. This manual is very important. It's like is everything you need. The Bible is the manual guiding humans. So also the Quran. So for this system, this manual is what you should follow. So the XRNE inverter, you can parallel up to 6 inverters to give you 30 kilowatt. This is 5 kilowatt, 5 kilowatt. So to parallel, what do we need to do? So let me just give you a very sharp rundown. So this is a bus bar. In this bus bar, we have the positive and the negative connection. We have the positive and the negative connection. So to parallel, what do you need to do? Positive to positive, negative to negative. That's how you parallel. So what we've done here is you have the positive of this battery input into this inverter. We actually use this because you don't want to be joining the cables and tightening it. That's not the best. That's why you need a bus bar to make your work neater and separate the positive and negative. What people do is to have, it's like dividing this into two, saying this is the negative bus bar, this is the positive. You would have seen some in some installation. You see two of these boxes, smaller sizes. You see plus taped here, minus taped here. If you don't want to do just the two, you do only one. This is very big, so you have the space in between, so there's no issue here. So all the positive from here comes here, the positive from here comes here, the positive from the battery, is also coming here. The negative from the battery comes into this bus bar. This is what we call a bus bar terminal. Then the negative from this here, the negative from here. This is parallel. You get what I'm talking about? Parallel connection, positive to positive, negative to negative. That is exactly what we have done here. No magic, nothing. So the next thing you have to do is to remember what we're doing is how to connect inverters in parallel, and we are using this SRNE brand as an example. So the next thing you have to do is to now parallel these two inverters together. To do that, there's a parallel kit you have to use. Now this is the parallel kit. Is a tiny wire in here. Two is a tiny wire. One comes with this, one comes with this. So to parallel two inverters, what do? The manual will tell you. Look at it. There is a wiring diagram. If you don't read the manual, you are playing and you don't know. So for the parallel settings, for 2, for 3, everything is stated here. So go through the manual. So what do? The parallel kit, the first one comes here and comes to the first one on the second inverter. The second one you connect here, join to the second one on this second inverter. That's all. Then the next thing is the VGA cable that has 12 pins. This one is quite different. You know, for the parallel kit, first to first, second to second. But for this one, it is first to the second of the second inverter, while the second of this first inverter to the first of this inverter for the VGA cable. It's as simple as that. Is that clear? So the next thing we now need to do is also to connect the communication cable from one inverter to the battery. So for that, this also has a communication port. So we are using this as the master. So the communication port is connected to it. So we have an RJ45 mount here. Then it goes straight to where we also have on the battery, and that is all. This is the battery breaker, and that is all the connection you have there. So with that, you have parallel this thing, this inverter. So what you have to do again is the AC in here, you will parallel it with the AC in here before it goes to the breaker for the AC in supply. So this is just a parallel. So the life goes to the life of this, the neutral goes to the neutral of this, then you pick the terminal. You can see there is a 2 cable here. The life now goes to the source, the breaker, and this also goes to. So you do the same thing for the output, because you have AC in, AC out. The AC out, life to life, neutral to neutral, then you terminate that also to the output breaker. That's all. Now, if you are connecting solar to this, for this installation, no solar has been connected. This is the port for the solar. It's indicated there. This is the port for the solar. This is the port for the solar. What other things do we need to look at? Now, I love the way the connection here has been barred. This is like a poker yoke. We call it proof, just to make sure you are sure of what you are connecting and there's no error. So let's leave this now. Now let's go into the inverters itself. So if you come to the inverter, if you do a set, you can start from number 1. Let me take off my glove. I think this is safe a bit. So you have 32, 33. You have up to 1. So this number 1 setting. For number 1 setting, I've set it to utility because I'm using utility to do what? So if you go to the manual for the SRN in page 34, it's stated there that number 1, output source priority, default is utility. So this thing is in the manual. So you do that. So for this parallel setting, so most of the important one, if you are using solar as your priority, so you change it to so. So if I want to change this to so now, I will just, 01 is blinking, I'll click on enter. I'll click on enter. So I will creep on down. Can you see solar input? I don't think you can actually see it well. Yes, that's the solar input. If I click on down, this is SBU. SBU is talking about battery priority mode, switching to mains power only when the battery is under voltage or lower than the setting value of the parameter. So this is where you can change. So I'm fine. I'll just click enter. No, this is so. That's not what I want. I want utility. So I'll go back. 1, enter. So is what? No, I'm in utility, enter. Then I can set to go out. Now for parallel setting, so you can just look at the setting frequency, but for paralleling inverters, take note of settings 30 and 31. This can give you some headache on site. Now let's read. Model ID settings 31 default. RS485 address number. Parallel mode needs to be set. So you need to set the parallel mode in the range of 1 to 6. So how many inverters do we have here? 2. So you are paralleling 2. So you need to set this to 2. The default will be 1. Can you see 1 default? So you need to set it to 2 because you have 2 inverters. So if you are on the site and you have only 1 inverter, you don't have any problem. But if you have 2 inverters and you leave it as 1, it won't supply. So what do? We go back to set. When you go back to set, you can press this up continuously. It will be very fast to go to where you are going. So we are on 30 now. So 30, you can see it has been set to 2. So what the way you set it to 2 here, you have to set it to 2 on these inverters too. If you look at settings number 30, this also have to be set to 2. Enter. So settings number, okay, with this 2, this for another, this the second settings. We are in number 30. Enter. Okay, so I've set 2 on the master, so this is not permitting me to set to 2 here because the master is already on 2, so the master will control the slave, so that's good. So the next thing we need to do is setting 31. So set 31 says SIG default when a single inverter is used, but now we are using 2 inverters. 31 PAL in parallel operation with single phase. This is a single phase parallel. Please refer to 2.4 wiring diagram, the wiring diagram I showed you for 2 inverters. So for this case, we are going to set to PAL for 31. 31 is already on PAL. Enter. If you want to change it, you can go up and down, but it's not permitting me to do that because it's in operation already and we have set it that it's 2 parallel. So if I want to change this, I have to shut power off and restart again, so I can now do the settings before the inverter start performing. So it's locked, it's in PAL. Great. So number 30 is giving us 2 as the parallel mode. So you set, then you have your inverter charging, and they are in parallel. Guys, this is everything you need to know about the parallel settings for inverters. So see you in the next video. If you have any question, I've showed you the bus bar because in the video we mentioned bus bar. What is bus bar? This is bus bar. So ensure also that you tidy up your work, use cable tray, just make sure your work is neat so that your client can be happy. Yup.